Hello, this is Athena with AMG Creates, and this is a very long card. It seems like Saturday cards are the longest ones, a little bit more drawn out. I was going to use the couch with the window frame add-on and decided not to, so I just used the dies for the window frame add-on. Smore the Merrier, two of the baby wolves in Wild Wolves, build a campsite, and Grassy Hillside Stencil. I'm going to take you through basically my whole thought process for this thing because I didn't want to already have stuff figured out. I wanted to go through it. My idea was that you can see the main thing that's happening through through the beginning of the card. Like you open it up, you can see the window and you can see through the window. But it wasn't big enough to see everything through, so I was going to have it open, and in the opening of the card is where you see what's actually going on. So I'm cutting everything, placing everything for die cutting right now. So it's the windows, the curtain rod and stuff, which I didn't use. The curtains, which I will be using and die cutting in the next round. Basically, I went through trial and error of I'm going to cut the actual window out of what you see at the beginning of the card, which is the wall. And that didn't turn out so well because I didn't want it to sit in there. It didn't turn out as planned, and you'll see that later where I stick in the actual, like, the other part of the window into that piece right there, and it didn't work out. Like it did not. No, it didn't work. So I'm glad that I didn't do anything to that gray piece because I had to go and get another piece and cut it out. Like in my head, it didn't work. So I redo all of that. I do some measurements. And even whenever I open up this card, I'm not the happiest with how the back of the front of the card turned out. But I'm not sending this to anybody. So, and what I would have done is probably like, still did the window. See, like right here, I realized that it isn't going to work. It falls right through. And I didn't really have anything that would make it look good to put it back in. So, yeah, the back side of the front of the card I could easily do something with, but it's basically just me having fun, so it looks like trash, which is fine. I'm just cleaning everything up. It's a whole lot of die cutting. So this is what you don't see, and what I normally delete out. This was, I've sped this up twice the speed. So it was an hour and 5 minutes from start to finish. So then on here you can see that I'm a little bit smarter, I guess, with what I'm going to be doing. So making sure that I have everything kind of set up, and then I decided I'm going to use a ruler because I can't line in a straight line to save my life. That way I at least have a place to see through. And then, you know, being left-handed, everything is extra complicated because I make it extra complicated. So there are some other things I could have used if I had a rectangle or a square die, and which I do because I used it to cut this out of, you can see like the stitches and everything that are in there on the edges. I could have used that, didn't think about it. But there, and then that way it sits in there and it works out quite well. So then the other thing, I'm trying to figure out where I need to glue it. And there's, whenever I tilt the card, because I'm looking at the card right now, I can see where the glue was, because it's a little bit shiny. But this is it's the first time I've actually made a card like this. So it works out pretty well as a first card. I like to think it turned out just fine. But yeah, and I can pick it up, I can put it on there, I can turn it around as it slides off. And put it as straight as one can. And then next I think is I think I'm doing the curtains that are on there. And I did it out of some pattern paper that I got every, or no. Why am I doing another one of those? I'm confused. It doesn't take much. Maybe I'm doing it for the inside? Oh yeah. No, I'm doing it for the inside of the card too. Because it's a different color. It's not white. Yeah, doing that one for the inside of the card. So this is a 6x6 piece of paper that I got from Lawn Fawn. Every time that you make an order, you get a 6x6 piece of their paper, and that's really nice of them. It entices you to buy more of it if you come across a paper that you like. So I figured that that shade of blue would be fun. Yeah, this is another one where I've had it, and I've had this for a couple of years, but I haven't haven't ever used it. And of course I've seen lots of people use it. And I was gonna put the couch in front of it, but I think that would be good for a bigger size card. I didn't want to fill up the whole front. And you think that my daughter was in here and I was telling her what I was gonna do before she decided to catch ADD and run out. It's normally one of the things where I had told her, you know, don't put your hand in the camera, as she is apt to do the last couple of times. But yeah, she wanted to know what I was doing. So now I'm trying to put this together as best as I can. There is, like, you can go all out and use the curtain rod and everything. There's a curtain rod that's right up there by that pencil. And you can't see it because it's on one of the darker blue lines. But you'll see the little rectangle thingies that I just set the glue down next to. Yeah, there's a whole curtain rod and everything to really complete it. And I didn't want to go that far all out. I'm just really happy that I was able to get things how they're supposed to be the first time. Kinda. So this is basically a card that is a whole lot of guess and check. I did, I watched a couple of YouTube things. I went on Pinterest and looked around a little bit to try to find something that was good. And that's why, So that's why I thought of the couch. What I had seen on Pinterest was this, and some of the, I think they're called tiny people, like scaled down versions of people. They have stamps for them, and I think that it was like they were in the background doing Easter hunting or Easter egg hunting or something like that. Yeah, or the dog was watching something in the background. So what I'm doing right now is that I need to cut out something so that you can see it. So you can see through the through to the back of the card. Or not the back of the card, but you know, the opening of the card, the inside of it. That's the word. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what I need to do. Not mess it up too hard. Which, by the way, it really didn't matter to me because I have a ton of these cards. Like just stock cards. So I'm not too worried about it. And this is a glass mat that I'm using by We Are. It was We Are Memory Keepers, and now it's We Are Makers. But I do enjoy this because I don't have to cut on my my desk mat that I have, which is something I shouldn't be cutting on anyway. So right there you see that I was looking at setting it up for making it look pretty in the back. And I really didn't want to. So now I am working on the inside of the card. And a lot of times you see all of the fun stuff happen on the outside of the card right whenever you open it. This is one of the cards that kind of entices you to look inside. And whenever, because I'm looking at it right now, and you can see like the clouds and everything, and you can kind of see part of the tent, but whenever you open it up, you can really see everything. So this was one of the greens that was really like extra smushy. I don't like calling it juicy because that's just gross. It's kind of like whenever people say moist. I don't like the word juicy. But yeah, there was a lot of extra ink in there. So I like these stencils in particular because the part that I had used, the top part is a reverse of the bottom. Sorry, yawning because I don't breathe whenever I talk. But yeah, that top side that I wasn't using is a reverse of the bottom, so I can pull it off of there and stick the top part down, and that way it covers the grass, which is awesome. Looking at this though, you don't really see a whole lot of the grass afterwards. Like a whole lot of the grass blades, I guess you could say. Always remember to clean up after yourself as much as possible while you're working, otherwise you're gonna get like smushied. See, so it covers that up, which is awesome. Then I was looking for washi tape. Anything, any sort of tape anywhere. So this is low-tack tape that I have from Crafter's Companion, I think. I can't remember anymore. Oh, by the way, this is also me forgetting how to do clouds. I haven't done clouds in quite some time, and I forgot that you have to do from the top down rather than from the bottom up. That's okay. Again, that's something that you don't really notice. So yeah, it was me kind of questioning myself, and I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. So I started down at the bottom, and I realized that really wasn't working out too well. And then the green got mushed in it. I don't know what happened. So I'm moving stuff up, and then I'm gonna start at the top. It works out a lot better. So I like that there are 4 different types of clouds on here. You can twist it, you can mush it around. Um, you can move it. Yeah. I just like that there are different types of clouds. You can do different colors. It doesn't have to be blues. I wanted to mix it just a little bit in. Again, a lot of these have a whole lot of ink in them, but I still like how it turned out. It's not the first thing that you see, I guess. So yeah, the bottom where the grass is looks a little iffy, but that's okay. It's going to be covered up with stuff. It's something that I noticed, not something that you'd notice. And even the tape where the tape was is all cleaned off. Again, not something that you'd notice. Clean off the workspace so that I don't get blue all over it. This is whenever I realize I need to cut this down, because it's not gonna exactly fit. So where the stitches are on there, I take it and I cut the stitches off of there. So working on that to make sure that everything is all cut, and then it's easier to get in. It looks a little bit weird, but it fits. See, so it looks like that, and of course all you see are the clouds. So it makes you want to open it up. And then we work on all of the stuff. So the tent is another one that as you can see, I haven't used. So I take it and I cut some of the stuff off that I need. I'm going to use the shades of purple that I have just because so to me, it's kids spending the night outside in the backyard. Just like kids having fun. They have a play tent. It's summer, even though it's February. We're not going to talk about that. But yeah, it's kids being outside and having fun in the back. So of course they have a really weird colored tent. So again, I am pulling out a kind of do-it-yourself pattern thing because again, a lot of tents, like kid tents, have really weird patterns. And you're not going to see a whole lot of it anyway. I'm just figuring out like what color to use. So there are a lot of times whenever I will already have all of this thought out, and I'm kind of taking you through the process of it's not all thought out. But considering that you weren't going to see a whole lot of it, what I did right here was just fine. And I thought about using the fire that was in here and everything else, realizing that I didn't have enough card for that. In the end, everybody gets a little bit smooshed. And I could have really, it's one of the things where you look back at it after you make it and you go, I could have done a lot more here. I could have made it a slimline card, which I'm not the biggest fan of, only because I like making little cards. I like the idea of you get something that's inside, but you're not looking at the picture, you're looking at what's inside, kind of thing. Especially with this one, because the whole thing is inside. So I'm cutting that. So this little tent piece does have little flippets at the end on the sides, and I won't be needing those because this the die set also comes with little stakes. You know how whenever, if you've ever gone camping, the stakes kind of make sure that the tent stays in place, and it's okay. I'm not trying to make this as realistic as I can, considering that it's critters that are going camping, and yeah, it's the thought that counts. And there are 3 things for the tent. So you have the tent base, which I just cut, which is like the inside of the tent. You have the outside of the tent, and then you have little flaps. And I didn't really want to use the flaps. I didn't want to make it all of that intricate, I guess. The flaps are up by where my ruler is, where the fire is, and I really didn't want to make it that intricate. So yeah, that's what that's gonna look like. I think that it looks pretty cool. And just kind of put everything together. So the the dies that are on there are really nifty. You can do a lot with them. They even have a little lantern on it that has a light and the back and everything. I think that that's really nifty. So now I'm deciding where I want to place this. I realize that I do not have a whole lot of room. I guess that I could have knocked this thing on its side for more room. But by then I would have to redo, you know, this, and I really didn't want to. I'd have to redo the whole card, actually. So what I'm doing is cutting the tent a little bit over than half, because all you're going to see is that part, since I'm moving it over to make room for everything else. So I hope that you're enjoying this longer video, so that way you can see kind of how the thought process works, rather than me already having everything all planned out. If you're enjoying it, please make sure to subscribe for more videos. I upload a plan with me for Monday, so on Mondays is plan with me for that week, and it's a something I don't fill in. I am about, let me see, 4 weeks behind, so we are in week 8 right now, but this was week 4, so the end of January, and I'm a little bit behind. I'm still deciding if I want to keep doing this, or if I want to, whenever Lawn Fawn gets new stuff on the 22nd, whenever I receive that, if I want to just say screw it and start making spring stuff. I'm not quite sure yet. There's still a couple of things that I want to do. But it being 4 weeks behind, and I was just doing Valentine's Day inspired stuff in my planner, but it's not going to be Valentine's Day inspired stuff in, 4 more weeks. I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe I'll use something, the skunks and the card making mice and everything, for something different. I'm not quite sure yet. So this is me coloring everything in. And I do enjoy coloring and shading and everything. I use, let me take one of these out because I'm not quite sure what I use. These are Castle Arts colored pencils, and I like them. I like them for, I've usually used Crayola colored pencils. I like those too, although people say that they're a little bit too waxy. You can always get really fancy with it. I don't think that these are very waxy. They're not all that shiny. They are a little bit if I go really hard on them. But you can always use a liquid called Gamsol and a wood stump, or a blending stump. You can get them at any of the creative places, even if your grocery store has a drawing section. They might have the blending stumps, but I don't think they'll have the Gamsol. Gamsol would be at like Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby or any one of those kind of things. But Gamsol takes away the wax, and it makes it a little bit easier to blend, but do not put Gamsol directly on your paper, and do not use a, don't use a paintbrush. It's not for painting. If you put it on a blending stump, then it should be okay. And it's another thing too, as we go along on this adventure, I'd like to do some extra videos where I'm showing you guys how to do things, I guess. And I should have done that kind of the first week and just didn't think about it. So if there's, I guess, since you've made it this far, if there's anything extra that you would like to see, and I guess I'll be posting it in my other videos too as questions. If there's anything that you would like to see, anything that you would like to have explained, please let me know, so that way I can make a video of it. Because usually if one person has a question, there are others that just don't want to ask. Also, if you would like and subscribe to this, or at least subscribe to it, that way, you know, if you like what you're watching, I do have others. I have 12 other ones, I think. 4 in week 4, 4 times 3, 12, yeah. Technically, it would mean that I have 11 of them since this one's the 12th, but I'm not going to get into that with you. I usually upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, with Tuesday being the easy card, Thursday being a little bit harder. Usually Tuesdays are just stamps, and that's it. Stamps, a little bit of blending, nothing too big. Thursdays are usually like die cuts, a little bit more intricate, and then as you can see, Saturdays are pretty much all out. And I like that because that makes me use a lot more of what I have. And I do have a lot more than what you see. I have an L-shaped desk, and by the time that I'm usually done with these Saturday cards, my desk is a mess. So it's kind of like I try to do all of these all at once, and then wait a couple of days, and then I'll do the voiceovers. It doesn't take that long to edit them. This one is just sped up. Usually I have everything prepared, and yeah, so that's why some of the other cards are like 6 minutes and 9 minutes and things like that. They're really short because there wasn't a whole lot to them. This one, like I said, was an hour and 5 minutes that I trailed down to twice the speed, so 33 minutes. Then I'll do this, and I'll put everybody in there. And I think that they look really nifty. I was going to do both of the wolf pups, but there really wasn't any room. And again, whether it be poor planning or the fact that, you know, me being lazy, whatever. I'm not too worried about it. So now I get to glue everything down. So I use the glue on these so that I know I can move them. I like the fact that I can move them, kind of like with right there. So if I were to have it higher up, you would have seen the grass blades, and it makes it look really weird. Yeah, I thought about putting both of them right there. And of course, the fox's tail is going to get cut off. It is what it is. So I like how that configuration looked. And then I just glue them all down. So you can use, I could have used foam, little foam sticks to prop them up a little bit more to give them some dimension. Didn't think about that. I don't really use a whole lot of dimension with my cards. And then I'm going to search for the words "everything is s'more, fun with friends." I don't have any s'mores or anything in here other than what is in the camp, the little tent thing. I think that it would have really filled up the card. It would have been too busy. Yeah, with 2 minutes left, thanks for sticking with me. I know that it is a long drawn out card. I'm glad that you're here. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please feel free to leave them down below. Please make sure to hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. It doesn't matter. Interaction is interaction. I'm not too worried about it. If you didn't like the card, tell me why. I'm always up for, I would say, constructive criticism, but this is YouTube, so criticism, constructive or otherwise, I guess. I have a thicker skin than most. That is it. Everything is more fun with friends. Mwahaha. That is the best thing about Lawn Fawn, is that they have their cute little puns, the little word puns. And here I am cutting off the fox's tail. But yeah, I love Lawn Fawn and their cute little word puns. It makes me happy. So I'm just gonna glue this on. And I'll stick it there and I will be all done. As you can see, the opening of the card. Oh yeah, I also have to do that part. Gonna put on the opening of the card, and as you can see, I could have done a little bit better with the back part of the front of the card. And at this point in time, my tape runner runs out, because that is how that works. And this is me searching for tape. I'd bought a whole bunch a couple of weeks ago, so it was around, it just was hiding. Anyway, what I was saying, I could have probably done the back of the front of the card a little bit less messy, but I think that it's okay anyway. I didn't want to really bulk up the card too much. But I hope that you enjoyed this card. It took me a little over an hour to make. Probably would have been less if I had planned it out first before doing this, but that's okay. That way you guys can see in halftime what it takes, I guess. So if you guys had a nice ride with me on how to make this card, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.